Atalanta 2, Chelsea 1. Yeah? Maresca, why? I'm fuming. Listen. What happened? What really happened? Or what's going on with Chelsea? Chelsea, our recent form as of late. Can anybody put an explanation to it? Yeah? Can anybody give it some sort of an explanation? Because at this point, there's something needs to be said. There's some sort of an explanation need to be given. Either from the board, from Maresca, from the players. Somebody need to say something. 4 games and no win. 4 games, no win. Arsenal, no win. Leeds, we lost. Bournemouth, we drew. And today again, we also lost. So 2 draw basically and 2 loss. That's what we getting, right? From this game, Atalanta, we coming into this game, everybody's expecting a win. Listen, if you're a Chelsea fan and you weren't expecting a win, something wrong with you. Every single one of us were expecting a win, and rightfully so, because against Atalanta, we should be getting at minimum a win. Prediction for this game was 2-1, and yes, right, I was right, but basically Atalanta got the 2-1 instead of us getting the 2-1, right? I expected this game to go way better than we did. I know I watched other YouTubers and then they talk about, we needed to make some sort of a substitution. And I said, no, in this game, we need to go with our strongest lineup to build some sort of a momentum towards that Everton game, right? And we didn't. Cole Palmer is unavailable, understandable, right? It's part of his whole recovery process or him coming back, right? And I get that. But we needed to build our momentum going into that Leeds game. But this thing, even the lineup that Maresca came with, right? Yeah, the lineup in itself, listen, from the midfield upward was not necessarily bad. Now, in my preview, the only thing that was different in terms of that lineup was Jimmy Gittin, right? Jimmy Gittin was not involved in my lineup, right? He was not involved. Both, I had 2 different lineups. He was not involved in any one of them, right? And today's game show why he wasn't involved in my lineup or why he hasn't been involved in my lineup as well. There's loss today. There is one person to be blamed for that, and that's Maresca. If you think anybody else, yeah, if you want to mention the name of the board and all of that, yeah, something wrong with you. There's one person that is to be blamed for this loss today, and that's Maresca. Done. When the men do something good against the Liverpool, against the Barcelona, against the Arsenal, we see what he can do. We see potential. So now when we talk about Chelsea being a potential FC, it's not just the players. We see even Maresca is potential. This, right? You see, you get a glimpse of what you can get, right, from him. You see a little bit into what you can get from Maresca. But then when it comes down to it, what we want is consistency. When he was doing it recently, and I was complimenting him for it, and not everybody, not just the players, but Maresca himself, everybody went down. The level of energy, the focus, whatever you're looking for from the current Chelsea squad is missing. It's missing. That back line was not it. Now, I had Fofana in my starting 11, right? And even in the game, as the game went along, Chalobah got a yellow card. I was calling for Fofana to come in, and I had a TikTok live going on. If you those that watch it, I said Fofana should come in so we can give Chalobah a red, that he doesn't get a red card, maybe because of the game, considering the fact that we are away and knowing how we can be recently, how we've been with red card recently, right? I get all of that, but equally so, I didn't want Chalobah to come up because it's not the type of switch you can make in a game. A center back type of switching. No, you don't do that. They start the game, they end the game. The only way you can switch them except they're doing something bad. And Chalobah was not doing something bad. At this point, he should be experienced to know that you on a yellow card, you shouldn't do nothing stupid, right? But none of that happened. So Maresca today, it was absolutely his fault that we lost this game. Because now forget the lineup. Forget the lineup and everything, right? Because what's his name? Caicedo is back in the game. We expect better. Enzo Fernandez is there. We also expect better, but we didn't get better. What's his name? James is there. We didn't get better. Let's be honest today. Nobody today was on it. The only person that we can possibly make an exception for in today's game is George Achempo. Other than George, all the remaining of them was very fraudulent. Yeah, the performance today, we shouldn't talk about it. Pedro Neto, the wings, both wings. Pedro Neto or Gittins, both of them were dead. They were voted. Nothing from either one of them. Pedro Neto coming off, you mad? Why are you coming off? Because you just put in a stinger, man. And listen, I read this guy, right? He's been one of our consistent and most reliable winger out there. Whenever Maresca quarter him, the man deliver. But today, I don't know what it was, but it was not it. Whatever they were doing, nothing they were doing. It's like the way they were playing, there's no urgency to their play. And I hate that. When we play Barcelona, we on their back. Why are we playing Atalanta and we allowing Atalanta do whatever they want? Instead of us taking the game to them, dictating the game, let them adjust to our tempo, our rhythm of the game. But none of that is happening. We're letting them do whatever they want. And when you allow a team like Atalanta do whatever they want, this is what happened. You lose the game. They're playing at home. The momentum is there. The energy is there. The fan is behind them. Everything they need to win this game, they have it. And then we let them equalize. Once they equalize, our Oma take to life. I said, we're losing this game. If Chelsea get a draw in this game, or we should be happy with it. Once they equalize, because as soon as they equalize, the entire momentum of the game, the energy shift. Atalanta turned it up. Lookman started to look like Lookman again. From the beginning of the game, we wasn't there. What's happening? And I blame Maresca for it. The substitution. Why you bringing in Gusto when Santo is there? And why you allowing Gittins that is putting a stinker, on that page? Why you allowing Gittins remain on the page when there is a kid called Estevas sitting on our bench that every one of us is waiting to see? Every one of us want to see him play. Not just the fact that we want to see him play because we like him, but we know he can do something with the ball, on the ball. And then you have Gittins still on the pitch. Garnacho came in, and on that right hand side, Garnacho did far better, and I had Garnacho in my starting 11 as well. That's why I said Chelsea should go with their strongest lineup against Atalanta, but none of that happened, and we went with whatever lineup we went with today, and we lose this game. We shouldn't be losing this game. I'm not saying Maresca out or none of that, but my problem with him is this: sometimes he basically overthink. So we Chelsea fans from the beginning of the season, Eunice mentioned this on his channel. I think he and Josh, they talk about it. We were excited about fluidity in the Chelsea front line, right? That fluidity has gone. Since the beginning of the season, I haven't seen nothing fluidity-wise about the entire Chelsea front line. Nothing. When we get to the front line, it's that we don't know what to do. Stuff life. I don't know what Maresca is. I don't know what the players is doing. The reason why I'm blaming him is that if Chelsea play well, it's because of him. He did something good. If we play bad, he also, and today it's just way too obvious. He's overthinking things he shouldn't be overthinking. I know you care about this balance, about this defensive balance, but now it kind of limit us in the attack. Because if you look at the players that Chelsea are getting, and I understand why he's doing what he's doing, because our defensive record before was not that good. Everybody was calling for us to go get a center back. So to understand, I understand what Maresca is going with, But look at the players we have in attack. Esteva, very technical player. There's nothing defensive about him. João Pedro, the same thing, exact same thing. The only person that can bring some sort of a defensive mindset in that Chelsea front line is Pedro Neto. The rest, very technical player. How about we formulate a system that kind of get the best out of those attacking players instead of just trying to work them into the grind, make them worried about defensive work, and we basically not doing anything that we should be doing. Nothing. Today's performance, listen, people say, I saw online somebody say, it's the worst Chelsea performance ever, right, this season. Now, the Carabao game, I still put that out there as possibly one of the worst performances I've seen, right? And today's game is right there with it. At the below it or next to it. I'm watching the game, I'm not impressed with nothing my team is doing. Nothing. The only person that was giving me some sort of excitement today, like I mentioned, was Josh. We look very, very predictable. That's the problem I have, because when I talk about the fluidity, because now with the fluidity, that kind of gives Chelsea, that unpredictability, right? They look unpredictable because you don't know who's going to be where or who's going to do what. Esteva can exchange with Palma can exchange with João Pedro. João Pedro can go on the right hand side. Neto can come in. So we talk about that fluidity, but if you look at it right now, we just look very stagnant because Maresca is just worried about, I don't know what he shouldn't be worried about. It's not just limiting our style of play, the quality of player that we have, or the quality in those players. It's also limiting them. Let's be honest here. We should be winning this game. We should be winning this game by a mile. Now, I'm not saying we should come out here and absolutely decimate them, but That performance there, yeah. Listen, we look predictable. It's not just the case we look predictable, right? It's like Maresca is overthinking. And when you watch the game, we look relaxed. Like I said, there's no urgency to anything Chelsea is doing. No urgency. Chelsea is relaxed. Maresca, everybody just look calm. Listen, you cannot be calm. That's when I said, when Chelsea went up 1-0 all my life, I said, we have to get a win. And once we have to get a win. And to get this win, we need another goal. Right now, we cannot sit. We cannot relax. We cannot play this game as though we have won the game. No. And if we're trying to bring in people that we think need minute, we have to win this game in the first half. And none of that happened. Chelsea threw all of that away. And if I'm to blame anybody today, like I said, it's definitely Maresca. There are a lot of people on that page that drop a stinker today. Fernandez, stinker. Yeah? Or what's his name? The only person that getting stinker, Neto, stinker, right? And I told you for Chelsea to, sometimes for us to be able to do what we want to do. Obviously, our midfield is very important, but our wingers also need to come alive. And today, they were just dead. They were just dead. And that's why I was saying, Maresca, do something on my life. Take their life. I said, Maresca, do something. What do I mean? Maresca, do something. Bring Esteva in. Bring Garnacho in. Take it to them, right? Garnacho came in. He had 2 or 3 different shots on goal. And not just shots, right? Shots on goal. Needed to give Atalanta something to worry about, but nothing today. Entire London, there was nothing for Atalanta to worry about. And once they get that equalizing goal, the confidence was there. The coach was confident. The players themselves, they gained the moment. The fan jumped behind them. It was a wrap. It was a wrap for every single one of them. And now we're going into the weekend against David Moyes, Everton, and we think we're gonna win. We should pray to God for a draw. Yeah, every single one of us should be praying to God for a draw at this point. What is that? Because at this point, David, that's why I talk about the predictability of Chelsea. He already know what we're going to do. He already know the players that's going to be on the pitch. He already know how to approach them. And the form that they are in right now, let's pray. Let's just pray. Let's just pray. Listen, this weekend, obviously, we need a win. We definitely have to get a win. Arsenal lost this time. We need to kind of get ourselves back into that conversation. We are equal in points with Man United and with all those people that should be ahead of us in the league are ahead of us right now, and we shouldn't be doing none of that. Well, so let's just put ourselves in position that we can possibly be able to get into a title race. Now, I don't expect Chelsea to win this league, except Man United. I say Man United, except Arsenal and Man City decide to go absolutely nuts and I don't know, do what they should be doing, right? But with the form the both of them in, we should even be in there. But hopefully this weekend we can get a better result. My preview for that will be coming to you. But let me know your thoughts down below about everything I discussed. Maresca, basically, the entire team. What a shamble, right? Let me know your thoughts about that. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Much appreciated. And thank you to those that already subscribed. Appreciate it. See you later. Cheers.